Zoom is broken today. It just doesn't.
Hi, everyone. Today is June 1st. This is the meeting for SIG architecture. And we have a light agenda today. So hi to everybody. Rian, do you want to get us started with what you have on the case conformance, please?
Yes, let's go. Some feedback on Kate's conformance project, going very well. We've done 2 promotions this release already, 14 endpoints that was previously not tested, which is now tested. A bit of additional PR that need to be done since we have all the endpoints that's untested at the moment on a waiting for conformance testing YAML file. So every time people will notice there's a second PR coming afterwards, just taking it off the list so it actually shows up in the right place in API Snoop. So that is good news, 14 endpoints, and you go to API Snoop, you'll see the 14 endpoints on the list. Then we have 1 E2E test, 3 more endpoints. I think it is one of the storage tests, if I remember off the top of my head. The promotion will follow next week. It's lying beautifully green on the test grid, so expect pings for that next week. And then once, at the moment, 48 endpoints remaining, and once those are in, 45. So we hope to have this done at 20-year release early next year. We should be done with that, and no more tech debt coming in. We are watching the gate. We do have the agenda point from a few weeks back to get the release informing job going to be sure that after all conformance is done and everybody went on to do other things, that there is something warning us of tech debt to keep this to infinity in that state.
Sounds good to me. As long as you're not stuck, I'm happy.
We're rolling forward, and thanks for everybody for the reviews, especially Dims. You're very helpful to get the things over the line. So absolutely. Thanks for that, and all the other reviewers. Most of the work remaining is SIG testing, SIG storage. So we're busy building a relationship with them, attend their meetings. So yeah, rolling forward slowly.
Are you talking about like this CSI conformance or something like that? Are you looking at some ideas there?
No. So storage is just storage endpoints at the moment. Are you talking about having profiles for different things?
I don't know. I'm just trying to catch myself up. What discussions have happened so far?
No, if we go, let me find it. Sorry, I cannot share a screen today. My Zoom died on me time with the browser today. So if you go to API Snoop, and you go to the conformance bit, I'll share it just now. I just want to go there quickly. And so previously, the older endpoints that is open for testing, I'll share a link. All the endpoints that's open now previously was deemed as possibly not eligible for conformance. And then we got some feedback from community. John Liggett gave us some very good feedback. We discussed with SIG Storage, asked them as well, are you sure these things does fit all the rules? It's not privileged, it's not using kubectl, it's not, and all the other requirements. And they came back and said, these are the ones that are still open. So the 51, oh yes, sorry, it is 48 will be left after the 3. So I was counting chickens before they hatched. So it would be 51 now, 48 after the other 3 for next week merge. And you'll see this is CSI driver, is CSI node. It's basically 95% of this is just storage and volume and similar type of SIG storage endpoint. So and they reviewed and they're keen to have us test this.
Okay. So does that mean that we are mandating a CSI driver to be present for conformant for Kubernetes cluster to be conformant?
Yes, it's not, as far as we know, it's not optional. That's one of the reasons why CSI driver is actually coming back. That is actually, now that I remember, it is actually the CSI driver test, which is the next one coming in.
Okay. Yeah,
several of the basically all the endpoints for CSI driver is already conformance tested. It was only patch, replace, and delete collection that was outstanding, but all the rest was already conformance tested.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So I did have one question here. Could we the conformance kind, where does it run? On do we know which prow does it run on?
I am not sure. We can go find out.
Okay, yeah.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the purpose of the conformance kind is. If it's API Snoop is part of what we do.
Okay, I found that it is running on Kate's infra prow build. Okay, so API Snoop, where is that one? Here, this one, right?
Yes, so API Snoop, we are in the process of migrating it because it's being donated to the Kubernetes community. So we're busy collecting information. We just have some other priorities at the moment, but we're busy collecting the information. So we would actually migrate it over to an AWS account on the bill for Kate's infra, which would also help to raise the AWS cost there. And then also help with long-term sustainability, because the way it was developed was done 4 years ago when we were still not sure what the whole community was not sure what we were doing about conformance, and now it's pretty clear. When it gets migrated to documentation, everything should be very obvious for anybody to be able to work on it going forward.
Sounds good, thank you. Yeah, so I was checking on the hack local up cluster. It's pretty decent, but it is flaky, and it's flaky on only one set of things. It's the same set of failures that are flaky. I got it green, but not all the time. And I don't know how to debug some of these networking things. I had pinged Antonio once. I'll probably have to follow that up. I just let it run for a few weeks because before that it was, all red.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for that. Yeah, maybe if it's stuck, we should ask the specific SIGs and say, do you have a thought on your endpoints here?
Yeah, I mean, it's working in kind, so I'm not bothering the SIGs because I think it's just environment problem with the hack cluster. Okay, so that's all I had. Any questions for Rian? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. So the other thing that just crossed my email this morning was the question about a generic API server. There was a CAP that was filed by SCTS, Stefan. So it's not on the agenda for today. Maybe we can talk about it next week. But just a quick gut check with David and Wojtek. What do you think about that idea? I don't have Jordan this week, so I don't want to take any decisions without him for sure. But I just wanted to start the discussion here in case there was any quick thoughts from the two of you.
I haven't read the CAP yet.
Okay.
If the CAP talks about trying to create probably a staging repo that builds out the ability to have custom resource definitions, namespaces, and whatever else is required in order to have, I'll say, a server capable of servicing a controller that doesn't need pods or services or the like.
Yeah.
Then I think that is a project I could get behind, as long as the method of getting there was a successive refactor with no invalid state in the middle. And then with a termination point of, I now have a separate staging repo that can do this and a separate process that can be launched. I think that is where I would say the first KEP would end. If there's a desire to go beyond that, then I think you need to complete the first step first, actually create the separation, and then we can talk about what sorts of conformance related tests are necessary to be sure that this new extracted server that sits at the basis of Kubernetes actually fulfills what Kubernetes needs.
Right.
And I would see that as a separate follow-on.
Right. Yeah, this so from like what I understood, it was just the initial part that you were talking about. Let's have a staging repository, let's refactor some of the code, so someone will be able to stand up a server. But I'll let you go into the details. Maybe we can talk about it next time. Okay.
Yeah, it is listed as a next for APM machinery.
Okay. Okay, so that is going to happen before architecture, which is fine. We can talk.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Wojtek.
Yeah, so I think like I skimmed through that KEP. I didn't read that carefully, but my understanding is as yours that it's basically this first phase that David was talking about, and I'm not convinced it's like the most important thing that we should be doing, but I'm also not opposed for doing that. Like as long as like the things that David mentioned, which is like incremental and not like revolution, but rather like evolution of the existing thing. Then
I am totally with you. And a question for this group is, should SIG architecture own it? And I'm like, we don't need to own it. We just have to make sure it is if SIG API machinery wants to do it, then the core organization and other pieces we can help out with, like whatever we need to do, right? Like whenever any of the SIGs propose a new staging repository, there's a whole bunch of things we end up doing, like publishing bot, this, that, right? So we can definitely help with the mechanics, but I don't think we need to be an approver for the KEP. But it's okay. We'll just go by whatever AP machinery leads, right? Like we can't impose a condition saying AP machinery has to go do this, right? So it's more of like, hey, we're going to be helpful. If AP machinery decides to do this, then we can go help with all the mechanical stuff that we need to do to make sure that we can create the staging registries, do the GitHub org stuff, help with the publishing bot and the miscellaneous things around the effort itself. That's my gut feel, but let's talk about it next time too, and we can take a decision. We'll still not have Jordan, but let's see what you all end up deciding in the API machinery call. Okay.
Yeah, I think that this first stage is contained enough. I would say that future logical extensions, things you could imagine someone wanting once they have this, those probably are going to be more deserving of a SIG architecture viewpoint over destination. So, but this first stage is necessary, and I think is necessary for that, and is useful in general. So,
all right. The only thing that I see is like AP machinery should have enough bandwidth to do the things, do the approvals and reviews, because it's going to be a refactoring effort, and there's going to be a churn. And there has to be update and bandwidth for doing the reviews that are needed.
Yeah, I think Stefan will have to be realistic about how much he is going to be able to tackle and how long the effort will take.
Right.
But yeah, we'll be careful with that.
Okay, sounds good. I don't have anything else. Swati, Satish, welcome to this group. Did you have anything to talk about today? Guys. Okay, probably nothing from either of them. So thanks a lot, everyone. See you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.